The evening air carried the scent of fresh bread and roasted garlic as Vincent Sterling sat at a sidewalk cafe table in Manhattan's Upper East Side. At 38, he had everything a successful investment banker could want: a penthouse overlooking Central Park, a seven-figure salary, and reservations at restaurants most people only read about. Tonight's dinner meeting had just ended. His colleague had left, but Vincent remained, nursing a glass of Cabernet and checking emails on his phone. The half-eaten filet mignon sat forgotten on fine china as the waiter approached to clear it away. That's when he heard her voice. "Excuse me, sir. May I have your leftovers?" Vincent looked up to find a young woman kneeling on the sidewalk beside his table. She could not have been more than 25, with pale blonde hair pulled back in a messy bun. But what stopped his breath was the infant she held against her chest, wrapped in a thin blanket that had clearly been washed too many times. The baby could not have been more than 3 months old. Vincent's first instinct was to signal the waiter to have this situation handled discreetly, but something made him pause. He looked into the woman's eyes and saw not the desperation of a scam artist, but the quiet dignity of someone who had run out of options. "What is your name?" he asked, his voice softer than he intended. "Isabel," she said quietly. "And this is Emma. She is 12 weeks old today." The waiter appeared, clearly intending to ask Isabel to move along, but Vincent raised a hand. "Give us a moment, please." He stood from his chair and gestured to the empty seat across from him. "Please, sit down." Isabel stared at him in disbelief. "I cannot sit there. Look at me. I just need the food." "You are not eating. I am asking you to sit," Vincent said firmly but kindly. "Please." Slowly, carefully, Isabel rose from the sidewalk and slipped into the chair, holding Emma close. The baby stirred, making small sounds that tugged at something deep in Vincent's chest. "When did you last eat?" he asked. Isabel looked down at her daughter. "Yesterday morning. But Emma has been fed. I made sure of that. I am still nursing, but I need to eat enough to keep my milk coming." Vincent felt something crack inside him. He signaled the waiter, "Bring us the evening special. 2 orders. And a bowl of the vegetable soup to start. Also, bring whatever fruit you have that is easy to eat." "Vincent, I cannot afford this," Isabel whispered. "Did I ask you to pay?" He studied her face, noticing details that told a story. The wedding ring still on her finger, the quality of her dress beneath the stains and wear, the careful way she held her baby, as if Emma was the only thing in the world that still made sense. While they waited for the food, Vincent asked the question he was not sure he wanted answered. "What happened, Isabel? How did you end up here?" Her eyes filled with tears, but she blinked them back. "My husband died 4 months ago. Car accident. I was 7 months pregnant. He was our only income. He was a teacher. We had some savings, but not enough. The medical bills from Emma's birth took most of it." She paused, adjusting Emma in her arms. "I tried to keep working. I was a graphic designer, freelance, but I could not keep up with the deadlines while caring for a newborn alone. My clients found other designers. The landlord gave me 2 months, but I could not make the rent. We have been on the street for 3 weeks now." Vincent sat in stunned silence. This was not the story of addiction or poor choices he had been half expecting. This was simply life, cruel and random, destroying a family that had done everything right. "What about family?" he asked. "My parents died when I was 19. David's family blamed me for his death, said he was distracted because of the pregnancy, that he was working extra hours to prepare for the baby. They have not spoken to me since the funeral." The food arrived, and Vincent watched as Isabel ate slowly, carefully, making herself pace despite obvious hunger. She kept one hand on Emma, gently rocking her when she fussed. "How old are you?" Vincent asked. 26, Isabel said. "I know I look older. The street does that to you." Vincent thought of his own life at 26. He had been climbing the corporate ladder, spending money on expensive suits and bar tabs that could have fed a family for a month. He had never once considered how quickly everything could fall apart. "Where do you sleep?" he asked. "There is a shelter in Brooklyn that takes women with infants, but it fills up early. If I do not get there by 6, we sleep in the subway station. It is warm there, at least." Something in Vincent's carefully constructed world shifted in that moment. He looked at this young mother, at the baby, who had done nothing to deserve being born into such precarious circumstances, and made a decision that surprised even himself. "I own a building in Chelsea," he said. "One of the units is empty right now. It is yours if you want it." Isabel's fork clattered onto her plate. "What? You heard me. I have an empty apartment. You and Emma need a safe place to sleep. This is not complicated, but I cannot pay rent. I just told you I have nothing." "I do not recall asking for rent," Vincent said. "I am offering you a place to live while you get back on your feet." Isabel was crying now, silently, tears streaming down her face. "Why would you do this? You do not know me. I could be lying about everything." Vincent pulled out his phone and showed her a photo of a young man in a military uniform. "This is my brother, James. He was killed in Afghanistan 7 years ago. He left behind a wife and a baby daughter. I watched my sister-in-law struggle just like you are struggling. I tried to help, but she was proud. She said she could manage on her own." His voice broke. "She could not manage. She fell into depression. Social services took the baby, my niece. By the time I realized how bad things had gotten, it was too late. I have not seen my niece in 5 years. I do not even know if she remembers. She has an uncle who loves her." He looked at Isabel with raw honesty. "I cannot fix what happened to my family, but I can choose differently now. I can help you before it is too late." They sat in silence, the city moving around them, while Emma slept peacefully against her mother's chest. Vincent took them to the apartment that night. It was small but furnished, with a bedroom, a living area, and a kitchen. Isabel stood in the doorway as if afraid to enter, as if this might all disappear if she moved too quickly. "There's food in the refrigerator," Vincent said. "The building has a laundry room in the basement. Here is my number. Call me if you need anything." Over the following weeks, Vincent found himself checking on Isabel and Emma more than he had planned. He brought groceries, arranged for a doctor to see Emma, helped Isabel set up a home office so she could start taking freelance work again. But more than that, he listened. He heard about David, about the dreams they had shared, about the pain of raising a daughter who would never know her father. He learned about Isabel's design work, her talent that had been buried under survival, but never lost. "You have given us our lives back," Isabel told him one evening as he helped her install design software on a second-hand laptop he had brought. "I do not know how to thank you." "You do not need to thank me," Vincent said, watching Emma grab at a colorful toy on her blanket. "You needed help, and I was able to give it. That is all." But it was not all. Vincent knew that. This young mother and her infant daughter had cracked open something in him that years of wealth and success had sealed shut. They had reminded him that money meant nothing if it was not used to ease suffering when you had the power to do so. 6 months later, Isabel's design business was thriving. She had steady clients, a growing reputation, and enough income to start talking about paying rent. "I want to start contributing," she insisted. "You have done so much, but I need to stand on my own again." Vincent understood. Independence mattered. Dignity mattered. "All right. Pay what you can afford. But the apartment is yours for as long as you need it." On Emma's first birthday, Isabel invited Vincent to a small celebration. Just the three of them, with the homemade cake and simple decorations. As Emma smashed frosting into her face, giggling with pure joy, Isabel placed a card in Vincent's hand. Inside was a drawing she had created, a man in a business suit holding out a hand to a woman and child standing in the rain. Below it, she had written words that made his eyes sting with unexpected tears. "You did not just give us shelter, you gave us hope. You showed us that even in our darkest moment, there are still people who choose kindness over convenience." Emma will grow up knowing that when her mother needed help, a stranger became family. That is a gift beyond measure. Vincent looked at this small family, at the life that had been rebuilt from nothing, and understood something profound. Success was not measured in investment portfolios or penthouse views. It was measured in moments like this, when you chose to see someone the world had rendered invisible, when you used your abundance to ease another's scarcity, when you remembered that we are all one tragedy away from needing the kindness of strangers. "Thank you," he said to Isabel. For letting me be part of Emma's life. For trusting me when you had no reason to trust anyone. Thank you, Isabel replied. For seeing us when everyone else walked by. Years later, Vincent would look back on that evening at the cafe as the moment his life truly began. Not when he made his first million or bought his first property, but when a young mother asked for his leftovers and he chose to give her so much more.